Of all the emotions you can appeal to in your prospect when you're trying to make the sale, whether that's a sales letter, an email, a video, a blog post, an article, even a phone conversation or a face-to-face, face-to-face selling, belief is number one on the list. It's the single most powerful emotion that you can tap into when selling. Nobody buys without belief. A very powerful emotion to sell to, and yet hardly anyone does it. Mostly people focus on all the other emotions like greed, like fear. I'm not saying that won't work or not to do it, but belief must be number one if you want to control and dominate your market. Now, the good news is it's easy to build belief in what you sell. Now, you just have to know how to do it. And once you do, you will become nearly unstoppable. You'll roll right over all the fancy marketers that you compete against and all the different businesses that you go up against. And today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 different ways that will build belief in your marketing. So let's get started. The first way to build belief about your product and your advertising is to tell stories. Okay, now you've heard this before, most likely, but did you know that a story where you make a logical as well as a competent case for what you're selling can build belief almost better than anything else? It's true. In fact, many top marketers will structure their ads like where they go with the story first, then they talk about the mechanism, and then they show the hard data. So to give you an example around this, let's say that you're selling a product on how to lose fat. You start off with a story about someone who is overweight, who is, frustrated, nothing that they're doing is working. And you've probably seen different variations on this many times online, on TV. Eventually, they find a breakthrough. And that breakthrough solution will help them lose all their weight very quickly. Then what you do is explain the mechanism, the thing that makes the solution work. How is this possible? Well, it all has to do with this unique herb or with this keto diet or with that or with this or with that. When ingested, attacks the fat in your body like a guided missile. Anyways, what you'd go into is that herb, its history, how it works, why it works, and so on and so forth. And then after that comes the hard data. This has been proven by scientists in the lab, yada, yada, yada. And you'd go over, all that fun stuff. You see how that works? It starts with a story, and then you lead into them logically and naturally into the mechanism, and then as well you start talking about the hard data. But that story is key. It's what connects with people emotionally. The second way is media endorsements. Now this one is so simple, almost nobody does it or thinks to use it. Why would the media people and reporters want to waste their time with me? Unfortunately, almost everyone thinks this way. Nobody thinks they have anything worthy of the media's attention. And that's where the big mistake is. I don't care who you are or what you sell, you can get in the media, and when you do, you instantly and automatically have huge amounts of belief power oozing all over you wherever you go. When you're in the newspapers, when you're in a magazine, when you're on the radio, when you're on TV, when you're online anywhere, all that media's credibility and celebrity power is instantly transferred to you. You get to borrow their credibility. Remember, people are very partial to their particular media outlets. They are listening or watching or reading it because they trust and believe that particular media source. So when you're on there, they will very likely trust and believe you because you're on their particular media source. The key is to not do a sales pitch. Just give away useful, helpful information, and then what you do is you sell at the end when they ask where people can find out more about you. And even if nobody buys directly from your interview, it doesn't matter because you can put the recordings or copies of your interview on your website, online, or send them even to your prospects who are on the fence about buying. For example, you can send your prospect and say, hey, look, maybe you're not sure I can help you. That's okay. If you're skeptical, I've enclosed my recent appearance on XYZ show for you to see. Again, instant credibility. The third belief secret is you have one of their own deliver your message. Now, what do I mean by that? Basically, you can ratchet up the believability of your advertising by having your pitch man or pitch woman be the same sex, race, occupation, demographic, and so on as your market. I know in previous videos we talked about building your customer avatar. And so if you take those key components of your customer avatar and bring your pitch person that fits that criteria and have them do the pitch for you, that's what I'm talking about here. For example, let's say you're in a weight loss market targeting women who want to lose weight. And if you try to sell weight loss to females and the product guy's personality, the tone, the voice, you'd be dead in the water. So instead, you would have a female pen name, and she is the one doing the selling. You know, she's far more believable than if a guy was trying to sell to them. And the same goes to any other market. If you sell to senior citizens, don't have some young snapper do the pitching. You know, have one of their peers do it. If you sell to nurses, don't have a marketer do the pitching, but a fellow nurse or someone in that industry at least. Bottom line is, if your market is heavily saturated with one kind of person specifically, have a member of that person's occupation, gender, age, demographic, even race if you can, etc. deliver the message. It will build in automatic belief and can make you many more sales than you would otherwise. Now, moving on to number 4, belief secret, and that is to specialize. Don't let the simplicity of this one fool you. This one by itself can carry the sale if you do it correctly. More and more, I believe everyone who is serious about making long-term profits should specialize. For one thing, specialists can charge far more money if you were to do a regular, for example, if you were to do, to go to a regular doctor or dermatologist. Guess which one would charge you more? If you said the dermatologist, the specialist, you're absolutely right. And you can take that up as many notches as you want. You know, the surgeon would charge more than both the regular doctor and dermatologist. And the brain surgeon will cost a lot more than the regular surgeon because he's a specialist. And as for belief, well, think of it this way. If you needed brain surgery, who would you pick? The regular surgeon or the brain surgeon? And would you care how much money you'd spend or how much more the brain surgeon is going to cost you? I'm guessing not. Now, there's an inherent fear to doing this. And I know about this fear as well as anyone because I spent a couple of years wrestling with it myself before just doing it. So go forward, put fear aside, and start specializing. It's the best way to create built-in belief in you, in your products, as well as your business. Which leads me to belief secret number 5. And that's to demonstrate. Here's another powerful way to build nearly instant believability in whatever you sell, and that is to demonstrate. Ever see those late night infomercials that play over and over and over again? In many cases, they are based on nothing but demonstration. And I've spent many nights up just watching those, learning from them. The Miracle Blade knives, I own a couple sets myself, are a perfect example as they slice and dice through 20 inches of titanium. Okay, yes, I exaggerate, but if you saw the commercial, you would believe they would do such a thing as well. You can do in your marketing online too. I mean, you just give away about 90% of the tip or secret and leave the last 10% cut so they have to buy your product to implement it. You demonstrate in the ad the concept in action, but without giving all the details of how the concept works. Just tell them the what, but not the how. It builds belief and demonstrates your expertise at the same time. Now, if you like this so far, make sure to stay tuned for part 2 next week, where I reveal 5 more ways to build belief in your marketing. Chat with you soon, and I'm hoping you're enjoying this so far.